Hello viewers, what I have here is a 1965 Penncrest 300, model 9714. I recently just got this off of eBay. This one has a 1/10 horsepower, 2 amp, permanent split capacitor, Redmond motor. Has a push button control, intake and exhaust, and a thermostat with pilot light. The handle is metal, probably aluminum. Front grille is in pretty much perfect shape. It is a little bit warped on the inside there. It's warped in a little bit, but being from 1965, this thing's actually in really good shape. This has a metal rear guard, and this has a version of the 4-rivet blade with the rubber isolated hub. This one has a steeper pitch than most of the 4-rivet Lakewood blades. This fan I totally disassembled, cleaned, and I replaced all the wires going to the motor and into the motor, as they were all dry rotted and cracking to pieces. And I also replaced the line cord. I did not polish the blades. This is how I got it, but I did clean it up. This motor, the front bearing bushing was severely worn out, as well as the shaft on that side, on the shaft end. It was pretty well worn out due to lack of lubrication. It was ran to death, and I believe the bearing might have actually been replaced before, because it was a completely different material that the bearing was made out of than the rear bearing, and also the wiring going to the motor to the switch box had electrical tape and wire nuts. It had been chopped out and spliced in the past, so I'm wondering if if a previous owner had a new bearing sleeve. They took the motor out and had a new bearing sleeve machined, because the bearings in this fan, they just they're not self-centering. They're a press fit into the motor shells. So it wouldn't have been very hard for somebody to replace the bushings in this. Also, the little cap that goes over the bearing was all mangled and damaged from somebody prying it with a screwdriver at one point. But since it's worn out and the shaft is worn too, for the time being, I took the motor apart because I was going to rewire it anyway, and I pressed the bearing out, and I cut a slot in it, and I pressed it back in with a 2 thou shim to kind of tighten it, like a sort of like a C-clip. you know, it pull the two halves of the C closer together like this. I put a shim around it to close it up, and that works quite well. Um, I definitely gave it plenty of oil and stuff, and tried to clean out the wick as best as I could, since, you know, it had a worn bearing material in it. I also had to sand down the rest of the shaft, since the bearing surface had a groove worn into it. I had to reduce the diameter of the rest of the shaft coming out of the motor, so I ended up having to put a shim in the blade hub as well. At some point, I will probably not only replace both the bushings in this motor, but I will try to press a new shaft into the rotor on this fan. It's a nice enough fan that I think it would warrant that amount of work. Also, the sticker on the bottom of the cabinet was missing, but thanks to a fellow collector and enthusiast, Don, I guess he's a kind of the Penncrest guru. He actually gave me a picture of this thing in the 1965 JCPenney summer catalog, which was really cool, and it was listed for $38.88. So, very big thank you to Dawn for that, and also telling me what this was. I put a question out there. What is this fan? Is it a 300? Is it a 97? Whatever. And he provided me all the information I needed. So very happy about that. So anyways, we'll go for the run on this fan. I have the Variac set to 120 volts. So here we go. And this is a permanent split capacitor motor, so there's a 4 microfarad cap in the switch cavity. I also replaced that as well. All right, here we go. Low speed. The fan does shake a little bit. That likely has to do with either work that was previously done to the motor. Maybe the blade was dropped or something. I didn't see any dents in the blade to indicate that, or it could be how I have the blade shimmed as well. It could be that as well. But it is running. I've been running it for the last few days, overnight. It's been a great box fan. I'll demonstrate the thermostat here. There's the pilot light as well. Does its job. Go medium speed here. Oh, I forgot to show what I was drawing for those who want to know. About 1.4 amps on low speed. Go medium. One 1.7, 1.8. We'll go high speed. .2 amps. Shut it off here. Yeah, this is a 2 amp rated motor. You can keep in mind this is a slightly higher voltage than what it was designed for, but it'll run just fine like that. Go on the back side, show it running in this direction. By the way, this stand, this is from the AMC, the teal AMC I just recently did a video on. That's where this stand came from. The color matches a lot better with this fan, and also this fan once had a stand as well. It had marks over the holes where there was one. However, that stand is long gone, so I just put this stand on it. So anyways, here we go in exhaust mode, I suppose. It'll probably move itself back. So now you can hear it shaking because it's at a different angle. So that'll be about it for my demonstration of this 1965 Penncrest Model 300 9710 or 9714. I have a 9710 sitting up there. That's why I said that. Oh, and the date code on this fan is it's on the bottom of it's printed on the bottom of the switch there, inside of the underneath the switch assembly. So yeah, there it is. Alright, that's it for the video on this fan. Thanks for watching.